Are you guys talking to each other? Are you guys on break? You're like, dude, you won't even believe what I just saw today. Is it constant hearing of, like, visually? Is this a location near Facebook headquarters? Are you offsite? Give me a visual of what this looks like and the relationship amongst each other. So that give me a little bit of the optics there.
All right. So this was not, so this was third party. It was not Facebook. It was a third party vendor named Cognizant Technology Solutions. And so Cognizant had a deal with Facebook that they were going to take a part of their content and they were going to work with it off site. So they had their own sites. And we did have some people from Facebook stop by occasionally to see how everything was going. I remember I saw one of Mark Zuckerberg's personal lawyers there once. But for the most part, this was while we had the Facebook tech to go do all the stuff and we had all Facebook's content, it was managed directly by Cognizant. And so going forward with that, it was in Tampa, Florida. And it was in this place called Woodland Center. So it was just this kind of giant parking lot, kind of just in the middle of nowhere. And it was just this small building that had it there. And you walk into the building, they have a security guard in front of there all times. You're not allowed to bring any pen, paper, pencils, anything you could record or like take any notes on.
Not even your phone, so you can't have a phone on you while you're working.
No, you cannot have your phone on you. If they see you with your phone, they just immediately fire you. And I'm dead serious. They just can you if they see the phone, because the way that they describe it is all this is other people's sensitive content, so they don't want anybody recording, taking notes, anything, which I understood for like the phones. But for like pencil, paper, they didn't even allow that in there. So you go in there and basically you have these two incredibly small bathrooms that only have about 2 toilets, 2 urinals in the male bathroom, and I believe just 2 toilets in the girls' bathroom. And this place housed about 1,000 people. So it was terrible conditions for the bathroom. And so you have these 2 small bathrooms, then you have this kitchen area. And it was just a very small cafeteria. It was just very banal. There was nothing really there. They did set up this little store there, and every week they would give you $20 on a card, and you could go eat whatever you wanted to as long as you didn't go over your $20 at this little store. But for some reason, all of the food there was junk food. And sometimes they would have like fruit cups, salads, but all the people that were higher up got all those. So it's like the team leaders, the trainers, they were able to get the good food. And so everybody else was really just eating junk food all day. And what really kind of hurt me a lot is I would see this graphic content, and what my people would tell me is like, hey, go grab something there, go cheer yourself up. So I grabbed like, a chocolate milk, some donuts, and I put on a lot of weight while working there. I actually weighed over 300 pounds when I left. I have lost about 41 pounds now since then. And I put on some good muscle. I'm very happy about that. But it was a very unhealthy lifestyle, just not for me, but for everybody that was working there. So after that, you just have these 2 main wings, and they are just filled with computers. There's no cubicles, no nothing. They say that they wanted it all open, but it was just nothing but computers, and there was nothing else there for us. They had this one tiny room in the back corner, what was supposed to be like a calm down, relaxing room, where it's like, if you need to calm down after seeing this content, you could go in there. They had like Legos, they had like a little billiard board and all that, but no one was ever allowed in there, because they would like time you obsessively if you ever got up from your seat. So it would be like, if you go to the restroom, they would literally put a timer on your computer. And if it goes over the amount of time, you're going to get yelled at by the boss for going over the time. If you're on a break and you're like a minute late from your break, the computer alarm will go off and it's immediately going to tell your supervisor that you're not there. And even if you're just like right around the corner, you're going to get another warning. You're going to get dock and pay. So they were very like obsessive with you being at your computer at all times. In fact, what was just really ridiculous with it is how there were people there that wanted to just get up and walk after spending like 4 hours doing nothing at the computer. And like the bosses just would not have it. They just wanted to have a body in the seat. They didn't really care how that body was doing. They just wanted the person in the seat, and that was it.
What were they paying you guys?
So they were paying us about $30,000. It was originally 28 working in the graphic violence division. They
per month? Per month?
I wish it was per year.
They're paying you 30 grand a year?
Yes.
To watch all, okay. Okay, they're paying you 30 a year, and that's like $15 an hour is what they're paying you. Mm-hmm. Okay. So these are two separate companies. Now let me ask you, is the liability on Facebook or is the liability on Cognizant Technology Solutions? And how is Facebook holding these guys accountable for doing their job right?
So that's an easy question to answer. Facebook is not holding them accountable. In fact, it was Cognizant that was the one that backed out of the deal with Facebook about being a vendor for their content. Facebook was not holding them accountable at all. Cognizant was able to do whatever they wanted without really any interference, as long as a certain amount of content was being looked at every single day. That's all that they cared about. They really didn't even care much about the accuracy ratings. They just wanted the number to go up to say, we looked at this much content. That was really what they were focusing on.
What's successful? What percentage is successful to them?
So a percentage that was successful to them is they wanted each and every employee to do about 500 to 1,000 pieces of content every day. And I was usually doing about 100 to 200 contents on usually a day where there was not much going on, because going through this content, when you're in a specialized area, you have to not only just action it, you have to go through the internet, find out the source of it. If you can find it, verify if it's real or not, make sure you have the links, make sure you say how you found it, and then write up a report on it. So a great example would be like, I'm finding a lot of these terrible bestiality videos. And I was able to find a bestiality website, and I was able to find those same videos from there. So I was able to find the source of it there. So then I would write up a report saying that this was not an original Facebook piece of content. This was something that was taken from another website. And then I would write up my report saying why it would be taken down, what the actions would be, what it breaks in the policy. So that does take up a good amount of time, especially when you're basically going through the whole internet looking for a piece of content like that. But there were a lot of times when my trainers would tell me, go slow, do it, you're doing great. That's why we promoted you. And then I would have the team leader telling me, no, you need more content done. And so I was getting two different perspectives on what I needed to do there. There was one that was telling me I needed bigger number of content. And then I had another group of people telling me that I needed to just focus on the accuracy of what I was doing, because these were real people, real animals in these situations. It was really pretty much the ethical side versus the business side.
I'm looking at the Tampa Bay Times article that says Facebook agrees to pay $52 million settlement with content moderators who suffer trauma on the job. Former and current moderators in Florida and across the country will receive $1,000 each and may be eligible for more money to cover medical treatments and damages, et cetera, et cetera. Did you see this actually become a reality? Like, did you guys see payment from Facebook on this $52 million?
No, I believe it's still in court right now,
Okay.
Still actually being worked on. Casey Newton from The Verge told me that he wanted me to be a part of it. And so I decided I will be. I originally didn't want to, because I didn't want anybody to come across thinking that I'm just doing, like, coming out and saying all this stuff for money. Yeah. Like, there's a message I wanted to bring about this. But I decided that it probably would be best, especially after everything that's happened to me.
And then there's another article that says a total of 556 employees will be laid off early next year from a controversial facility near Carrollwood that monitors Facebook for banned content such as hate speech, bullying, threats, and videos of violence against criminals and children, violence against animals and children. Cognizant Technology Solution, a contractor for Facebook plans to close its operations at 7725 Woodland Center Boulevard, about 2 miles north of Tampa International Airport. Is that the facility you were at?
That is the facility, yes, sir.
Crazy. So you remember when this story came out, because this is 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, give or take.
I do remember that story coming out.
So you said Cognizant Technology Solutions dropped Facebook.
Yes.
Why did they drop Facebook if it's an account that's paying you good money?
I believe it was just the bad amount of publicity that they were getting. Last I heard about it is their stocks were starting to drop, and there was a lot of negative news going on about how they were treating everybody by being a vendor for Facebook. So they decided just to drop the account altogether.
Is this the same Cognizant company that's a publicly traded company doing like $16 billion a year, like doing revenue is 16.65 in 2020? Is this the company? Like,
that's the company, yes.
Got it. Interesting. So I'm sure they don't want that kind of publicity to be tied to that. Is that their business model though? Like, do they do this also for Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, other sites as well? Or was this like a singular project that they took with Facebook?
As what I was specifically told is that it was not in Florida, but it was in Texas. There was another branch of Cognizant that was doing the same thing we were doing, but instead of Facebook, Instagram, it was Twitter.
So if you like this little short clip from an interview I did, click over here to watch the entire interview. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.